All right, I'm going to play a game of bank shot basketball. Just picked this up a couple weeks ago and spent some time sleeving all the cards and that kind of thing and getting used to the rules, watching some videos. And I got to say, first of all, that the production quality of this game is really, really nice. The cards are super cool. They're colorful and very, very quality stock. It's just fun to flip through the cards and look at the players. One thing I have noticed though is a few editing problems with the player heights, which seem to be there seem to be quite a few errors. It doesn't really have any impact on the game, but it bugs me a little bit that they weren't more careful about that. For instance, and I haven't gone through all the teams looking specifically for this error, but when, just putting the teams together and looking at the lineups, I've noticed quite a few errors. And here's one, for instance, Kenny Walker. He's a, forward for the New York Knicks, and he was about 6'8", and they got him listed as 6'1". That's not right. I noticed Isaiah Thomas was 5'9". He's actually 6'1" in real life. Mark Jackson here on the New York Knicks. So we got two of them on the Knicks that are wrong. Mark Jackson, the point guard, he's not 6'10". He's probably about 6'1". 6 foot, something like that. Anyway, I've noticed quite a few of them, and that kind of bugs me a little bit. But as I said, it doesn't really affect the game at all. I'm sure in future versions they'll correct all those little mistakes. So anyway, this particular game that I just kind of picked two teams at random, and it came out to be the Indiana Pacers as the away team, and the New York Knicks as the home team. This is from the 88-89 season. And New York Knicks were a playoff team, 52 wins, pretty solid lineup all the way around, across the board. And Indiana was not good this year, only 28 wins, missed the playoffs. But they were building a foundation for a very good team. And in the upcoming years, they improved dramatically and were a playoff contender. But not this year. So the starting five for each team, for Indiana, you got Rick Smits, the dunking Dutchman at center. Their big forward, Detlef Schrempf, who they just acquired this year from the Dallas Mavericks. He had several good seasons for Indiana down the road. Chuck Person, the rifleman, at the small forward spot. Reggie Miller, the great shooting guard. And then Vern Fleming was their point guard at that time. For the Knicks, of course, you've got Patrick Ewing at center, and his partner in crime, two tough guys. The big forward was Charles Oakley. Johnny Newman was their small forward. Gerald Wilkins, their shooting guard, and Mark Jackson, who had a lot of later fame as a coach, is the point guard. So I got the game set up to go, with the proper number of cards in this particular circumstance. This is going to be half of the first quarter, 6 minutes worth of action cards, and you start by a jump ball. I'll pull the card here. This is the fast break deck. Use this for determining various items during the game. The first thing you'll see here is the jump ball. Home team gets it. So that's going to be the Knicks. And so we'll start the game rolling with this first card. This up top tells you who the ball controller is. Now, B3 would be a designation that specific cards would have. There's B star, B1, B2, B3. These are the people that are going to have the ball in their hands most of the time for their team. So if there was a B3 on the Knicks, he would start with possession. If there's not a B3, you would go to the F1, which is the forward one position, would be Charles Oakley. And you'll notice that there's a green background here. That means that whoever gets the ball, you're going to be reading the results off the offensive player's card. And you'll see that occasionally you'll have the red background over here, which means you will read the results off the defender's player's card. So in case of the Knicks, there is a B3, and that's Patrick Ewing. And because there's a green background, we're going to roll the dice on his card. So I will roll. You're going to be reading the red-white dice, red-white, and occasionally you will read the D12, you know, the 2D6s here, depending what the circumstances are. But we've got 54, and on Patrick Ewing's card, this is the offensive part. If he was the defender, you know, if Rick Smits had the ball and it was reading off the defender's card, you would read this part. But 54 on Patrick Ewing is a missed basket, and it's saying if there was a 12, it was a 3-point shot. It was a 6, so it was not a 3-point shot. It's a 2-point shot that was missed. I'm not keeping any stats or anything this game, or even keeping track of the score, to be honest. I just wanted to show you how it worked. So we would flip the next card for the rebound, and it will say rebound is high at F1. That means you would compare the two F1s, and who's ever got the higher rebound rating would actually secure that rebound. In Charles Oakley's case, because that would be an offensive rebound, we would look under the offensive rebound number, which is 46. And Detlef Schrempf would be a defensive rebound. We would look on the defensive rebound number, and that's a 28. So Charles Oakley, the beast, pulls down the offensive rebound. And we will go to the next card. And now it's going to go to the center, green. Now the center is Patrick Ewing, obviously. We don't have to go look at the B3 designation this time. It's just saying go to the center, and his defender is going to be the one who is defending the ball. So I just use these little things we'll put Ewing as the offensive player, Smits as the defender, and you'll notice it also says E passes to high for remainder of segment, which would mean through these cards. If Patrick Ewing had an E designation on his card here, meaning a guy that doesn't handle the ball very often and likes to pass off, then we would pass to the high scorer for the remainder of the segment. Patrick Ewing does not have an E. In fact, none of the Knicks, Trent Tucker has an E right over here, and Charles Oakley has a D. But in this case, we're going to go with Patrick Ewing, and it's green, so it's going to be reading off his card again. We'll roll the dice. We've got 53. That's almost the same rolls we had last time. We know that's going to be a miss again. Another miss by Ewing, not a 3-point attempt. So we'll pull the rebound card. We've got rebound, defensive center, and there's a fast break possibility there. That's what that FB in parentheses means, potential fast break. So Rick Smits pulls down the rebound. Knicks have fanned on a couple early attempts here. The Indiana Pacers are not going to go with the fast break because you can't quite see it, but I'll show you here. Their card, they have a fast break offensive C. Not really very good. The Knicks have a fast break defense of +1, so that would move that C to a B. You know what the heck? Let's go for it. Let's show you how it works. So Indiana is going to be rated as a fast break B in this case. Smits got the rebound. We'll go to the fast break card, and it is a 2-point basket missed by Rick Smits. So Rick Smits pulls down the rebound, fires an outlet pass. Ball may change hands a couple times. He hustles down the court, gets the fast break shot himself, and misses it. So we pull the rebound. High at F2. And it gives a different version here if there was a missed free throw. Of course, this was not a missed free throw. So we're going to look at the high at F2. F2 would be Chuck Person versus Johnny Newman. Now, Indiana was on offense, so we're looking at Chuck Person's offensive rebound is a 19. Johnny Newman's defensive rebound is only a 9. Not much of a board guy. Very skinny, Johnny Newman, if I recall. So Chuck Person pulls down the offensive rebound. Go to the next card. B2. So I look on Indiana's team, and their top 5 players that are out there right now, there are no B2s, so I have to ignore that then and go to the center. So we'll give Rick Smits another shot, or another try here, since he missed that fast break attempt. It says defender, so you choose his defender, which in this case would be the other center, Patrick Ewing, and you'll notice it's in red, so it's going to be read off of Patrick Ewing's defensive card. We'll roll the dice again. And we got a 65. And if we look at Patrick Ewing's defense on 65, another missed shot. Wow, these guys are shooting blanks here this game. Go to the rebound. Offensive F1. Again, it's not a missed free throw, so we're not going to read that second part. Offensive F1 means Detlef Schrempf pulls the offensive rebound down. Next card. It's going to say F2, which in this case is Chuck Person versus his defender. And there's a special designation play here that we'll look at in just a second here. But you'll notice the second line says F4. D or E passes to B1 or B2. Sounds complicated, really not. I'm using the automatic substitution rule here, which means there's 10 players on the board, and at any given point in time, the backups can get into the action automatically by the use of the cards. So in this case, because I'm using the automatic substitutions, F4 is going to be involved in this play. F4 for the Indiana Pacers is Randy Whitman. He must have checked in for a couple minutes for Chuck Person. Maybe Person's shoe came untied or something. I don't know. But, and then it says D or E passes to B1 or B2. Whitman happens to be an E, so he is going to pass to B1 or B2. And look, I got a B3 here. It's Chuck Person. I don't have a B1 or B2. So in this case, I can pass to either the high scorer or I can pass to anyone I want. And he's gonna fire the pass. Whitman gets it. He's gonna fire it right over to Reggie Miller. And remember, it says defender plus. So Reggie Miller's defender is Gerald Wilkins. He's the 2-guard. Gerald Wilkins is the 2-guard for the Knicks. So we finally got that sorted out. And it goes a lot faster when you're not trying to explain the rules as you go along, obviously. So, and it's on the offensive player's card as well. But we do have a question mark there. So we're going to resolve the possession first. Reggie Miller will shoot. I rolled a 63. And I've got a basket. If you look at the card, 63 says basket. And there's going to be assist as well because that number falls within this range. So we're going to have an assist. Let's settle the basket first. We don't know. It might have been a 2 or a 3-pointer. So I'm going to roll up here on his baskets section. I'm going to roll a 2d6. And I got a 2. So it doesn't fall into the 3-point range. So that was a 2-point bucket by Reggie Miller. There was an assist. So I'm going to pull the next card, and it says assisted by F1 or G1. So F1, the reason I give you 2 there is because if the guy that scored the basket can't be the same guy that gets the assist. So in this case, this was Reggie Miller that scored the basket. So we'll go to the first player on here, F1. Detlef Schrempf is the one that gets the assist. So it's a 2-point bucket by Miller. Assist to Schrempf, who's a good passing forward, if I recall. And remember, we had that question mark on the previous card. So we're going to pull a card and see a question mark. And it says, player with an exclamation point receives a technical foul. If no exclamation point, play continues as normal. So the exclamation point only shows up on a very small number of players. You know, if you had a hothead player like a Dennis Rodman or, somebody like that, they might have an exclamation point. I don't see any exclamation points there, so there's no technical foul, and play would continue. All right, so that was the first bucket of the game, thankfully, Reggie Miller, and that's pretty much how it plays. I recommend the game. It's a lot of fun. Tell me what you think.